A car pulls up, two masked suspects jump out, and within seconds, a Baltimore sidewalk turns into a shooting scene. This video breaks down some of the craziest Baltimore surveillance shooting and murder cases released by police. What happened, who was hit, who died, what the footage showed, and what happened afterward. For the full surveillance clips and full case files, go to TopTrendReportTV.com. Some footage cannot be shown fully on YouTube, but the full versions are posted free in the surveillance section. The instructions are in the description. North Luzerne Avenue, October 5th, 2025. A 17-year-old boy was shot on the 1000 block of North Luzerne Avenue. When Baltimore police arrived, they found him suffering from a gunshot wound to the leg. He survived and was taken to the hospital in stable condition. The surveillance footage connected to the case shows a male walking alone down a residential sidewalk. He is wearing a light gray or white hooded sweatshirt, dark pants, and white sneakers. His hood is up. As he walks, he keeps looking around the area. His pace is steady, but his body language stands out because he keeps checking his surroundings. At one point, he reaches toward the front of his waistband or pocket area with his right hand before continuing down the sidewalk. Police later said the investigation led to another 17-year-old suspect. On November 22nd, that teen was arrested, taken to central booking, and charged as an adult with attempted first-degree murder. Key Highway, April 5th, 2026, 2:37 in the morning. 40-year-old Brandon Long Sr. was shot and killed in the 200 block of Key Highway near Federal Hill in the Inner Harbor. When officers arrived, they found Brandon suffering from a gunshot wound. He was pronounced dead at the scene. The surveillance footage shows women walking along the sidewalk near a large building and parking area. One woman appears to be looking down at a phone while walking. Another walks beside her, wearing darker clothing. Days later, police arrested 27-year-old Travion Lemon. Investigators said the shooting came after a dispute. Lemon was charged with first-degree murder, assault, and handgun violations. West North Avenue, September 26, 2025, 4:16 in the afternoon. 31-year-old Virgil Lee Holland Jr. was shot on the 1200 block of West North Avenue. Police found him suffering from a gunshot wound to the head. He was rushed to the hospital in critical condition, but died the next day. The surveillance footage shows a dark-colored sedan pulling up near the curb. Two suspects get out wearing all black, with masks covering their faces and bright yellow gloves on their hands. They move directly toward Virgil. One suspect grabs him from behind while holding a handgun. The second suspect stays close, appearing to watch the area and provide cover while the attack unfolds. After the shooting, both suspects run back to the car and the driver pulls away. The attack appears fast, direct, and coordinated. Thorndale Avenue, June 7, 2025, 2:50 in the morning. 33-year-old Daryl Conway was shot on the 3000 block of Thorndale Avenue. When officers arrived, they found him suffering from multiple gunshot wounds to the upper body. He was taken to the hospital where he later died. The surveillance footage released by Baltimore police shows two individuals walking through the residential area near the scene. One is wearing a light-colored hooded sweatshirt with the hood up, dark pants, and white sneakers. The second individual is walking nearby in all dark clothing. The footage captures them moving on foot at night, passing a parked vehicle, and later moving through what appears to be an alleyway or side street. Liberty Heights Avenue, January 21st, 2022, 1:56 in the morning. This clip is tied to a carjacking that Baltimore homicide detectives later connected to the murder investigation of 20-year-old Kenneth Lawson. On January 22, 2022, Kenneth Lawson was found near the 2300 block of Westport Street, close to the entrance ramp for 295 southbound from Westport. He had trauma to the head and was pronounced dead at the scene. The medical examiner later ruled his death a homicide caused by a gunshot. The carjacking happened the day before at 3905 Liberty Heights Avenue. The surveillance footage focuses on a dark SUV and suspects approaching the driver's side. The suspects move quickly toward the vehicle and the confrontation appears to happen fast. Police did not release every detail about how the carjacking connects to Kenneth Lawson's murder, but the connection makes the footage more than just a stolen vehicle case. It became part of a homicide investigation that started with a young man found dead near Westport. For this next one, the full footage cannot be shown on YouTube because it includes a violent fight, a chase, and a struggle on the ground before the shooting happens. The full clip is posted free on TopTrendReport.tv.com in the surveillance section, along with the full case file and breakdown. This is one of the crazier ones in the video, so follow the instructions in the description to watch the full footage on the site. Wilson and Brunt Street, April 2nd, 2026, 12:16 in the afternoon. This case starts with a fight captured on city surveillance cameras near Wilson Street and Brunt Street. Police later identified one of the men involved as 35-year-old Tavon Newton. Newton survived, but the incident became a shooting investigation after officers arrived. Police said Newton was armed with a knife during the incident. When officers got into the area, Newton ran, and the chase moved toward the 1700 block of Pennsylvania Avenue.
Stop reaching! Stop reaching! Stay down! Stop reaching! You're gonna get shot! Get off! Reaching for what? You're gonna get tased. You're gonna get tased. What are you doing?
The released police footage shows officers catching up with him in a parking lot. They take him to the ground, but the struggle continues. Newton keeps fighting while officers try to control him and keep his hands away from a black sling bag across his body. Officers repeatedly order him to stop reaching. A taser is deployed. The struggle continues. Police said Newton gained control of an officer's taser during the fight. That is when one officer fired one shot, striking Newton. Newton survived and was taken to the hospital. Police said they recovered a handgun from his sling bag and a knife from the scene. After he was released from the hospital, he was charged with resisting arrest and multiple firearm offenses. And as always, stay blessed and stay well. Yeah, I'm out. A man in a blonde wig runs into the street and drops to one knee before opening fire with precision. Another suspect chases a victim down in broad daylight and doesn't stop until it turns into a homicide. In another clip, gunfire erupts through a gas station door as people try to get out of the way. These are the moments that cameras captured, but most of them cannot be fully shown here. Some of these clips had to be cut down or partially hidden for YouTube, so if you want to see the full versions and the parts that go further than this, make sure you go check out TopTrendReport.tv.com. That's where the full breakdown and extended footage is. I also break down exclusive case files and Reddit theories that you can't find anywhere else on the site too, so make sure you go check that out. April 16th, 2023, 2900 Chesley Avenue. At 8:30 in the morning, a red sedan pulls up to the curb. A suspect dressed entirely in black steps out and immediately begins running. There is no pause, no hesitation. He chases the victim behind a residential property, disappearing out of view before multiple shots are fired. The entire attack happens during daylight hours in a neighborhood that had just started its morning. September 6, 2022, 3300 East Baltimore Street. A suspect walks straight into a building, and within seconds, gunfire begins inside. There is no visible buildup. The moment he enters, the situation escalates immediately. What stands out is how fast the environment changes from normal to dangerous without any warning. August 24, 2022, Chesley Avenue and Park Heights Avenue. A silver Lexus pulls up near a group gathered at a park. Within seconds, multiple individuals jump out and begin firing toward the people sitting nearby. The attack is quick and coordinated, and just as fast as it starts, the suspects return to the vehicle and leave the area, turning a public space into a homicide scene in the middle of the day. That shooting left 7 people shot, with 22-year-old Kenyon Smith killed. What looked like a normal afternoon at the park became a mass shooting scene within seconds. I can't show the full thing on here, so make sure you go to my website and check out the full uncut version in the surveillance archive section. 600 block of East Chase Street. 2 suspects enter the frame, one in a gray hoodie and the other in a black hoodie. Almost at the same time, both pull out firearms and begin firing multiple shots down the sidewalk. The shooting lasts only seconds before they turn and run, leaving behind a quick but aggressive burst of gunfire. July the 16th, 2020, 1600 block of Luzerne Street. This is one of the clips that cannot be fully shown here. A suspect runs directly toward a victim wearing a bright green shirt. There's no distance between them for long. The suspect closes in and fires at close range, chasing the victim down before the shooting turns into a homicide. The speed and directness of the attack make this one of the most difficult cases to fully display. The victim was 46-year-old Moses Lee Rush Jr., who was found unresponsive after the shooting and later pronounced dead from his injuries. November 20th, 2023, 1900 block of North Monroe Street. An argument is already happening when the footage begins. You can see someone trying to physically pull the suspect away, attempting to stop what is about to happen. For a moment, it looks like it might work. Then the suspect breaks free, pulls out a firearm, and fires multiple shots toward the group. The turning point is clear. Someone tried to stop it, and it still escalated. September 28th, 2023, 2300 block of West Lafayette Avenue. 2 suspects are captured on camera before the shooting takes place. When it happens, the level of gunfire is overwhelming. They fire repeatedly, far beyond just a few shots, striking the victim multiple times. The intensity of the shooting makes this one of the most extreme cases in the entire video. I can't show the full thing on here, so make sure you go to my website and check out the full uncut version in the surveillance archive section. May 26, 2023, 200 block of North Eutaw Street. Inside a store, a suspect is handed a firearm. He immediately moves outside and begins firing at a victim moving through the area. After the first shots, he starts to walk away, then stops, turns back, and fires again when he sees movement. That second decision is what stands out in this footage. (1800 Bloomingdale Road). A suspect approaches a gas station entrance wearing dark clothing. He raises a firearm and begins firing through the door towards someone inside or just beyond the entrance. He continues firing until the weapon appears to run out. The entire action is focused and direct, with no attempt to hide what he is doing. June 4th, 2021, 1900 block of Edgewood Street. A gray vehicle pulls up and 2 suspects step out. Before anything happens, they pause briefly as if confirming something. Then they move around the corner and open fire on a group. Afterward, they run back to the vehicle and leave, showing clear signs that the attack was planned before they arrived. June 28, 2023 2600 block of Harford Road. Around 2:30 in the morning, two suspects exit a vehicle and move into the street. One of them is wearing a bright blonde wig, making him stand out immediately on camera. As the victim passes, both suspects open fire. The suspect in the wig drops down, takes aim, and fires with clear intent before getting back up and running. After the shooting, both suspects return to the vehicle and flee the area. January 10th, 2022, 3900 block of Liberty Heights Avenue. A suspect wearing gloves is seen near a gas station area. As a person runs past the camera, the suspect raises a firearm and fires multiple shots in their direction. After firing, he does not sprint away. Instead, he walks off, which adds to how controlled the situation appears. October 8th, 2020, 4300 block of Rasters Town Road. Inside a restaurant, an argument appears to break out. During the altercation, an older male suspect pulls out a firearm and fires multiple shots inside the establishment. The shooting happens in a public setting with people around, turning a normal indoor space into a dangerous scene within seconds. December 17, 2019, 1100 block of East 25th Street. A two-door vehicle pulls up and a suspect exits from the passenger side. He moves directly toward the victim and opens fire. The attack happens quickly in the middle of the day, leaving little time for the victim to react before the suspect returns to the vehicle and leaves the area. A lot of what you just saw was only part of the full footage. Some of these clips go further than what can be shown here, and the full versions give a clearer picture of how fast these situations unfold. If you want to see the extended clips and the full breakdowns, go check out TopTrendReportTV.com. Baltimore has had some of the most disturbing murders and shootings ever captured on surveillance cameras. In some of these cases, suspects casually walk toward their targets before opening fire. In others, body camera footage captures deadly encounters from the officer's point of view in real time. These are the moments investigators use to piece together homicide cases across the city. Some of these clips could not be fully shown on here, so the full uncut version is uploaded to the surveillance archive on TopTrendReportTV.com, along with exclusive case files featuring crime scene photos, murder reports, and deeper breakdowns tied to these investigations. February 7th, 2020, 1300 block of West Franklin Street. 31-year-old Khaled Heba was fatally shot in the 1300 block of West Franklin Street. Surveillance footage shows a suspect wearing dark clothing and a hood casually walking across the street toward the victim's location. Moments later, the same suspect is seen sprinting back across the street at full speed immediately after the shooting, shifting from a calm approach to a frantic escape within seconds. February 7th, 2017, Baltimore police involved shootings. This body camera footage captures a tense confrontation between Baltimore police officers and an armed suspect. Officers repeatedly issue commands before the situation escalates into gunfire. Because the footage is captured directly from the officer's perspective, it becomes one of the most graphic and intense clips in the entire breakdown. I can't show the full video because it's graphic, so go to my website in the surveillance archive section and it'll be there with plenty of other content. June 10th, 2019, 200 block of South Fulton Avenue. Around 3:24 in the afternoon, officers responded to reports of a shooting and found a 22-year-old man suffering from a gunshot wound to the back of the head. The footage and aftermath highlight how close the violence unfolded to nearby homes and residential buildings in broad daylight. December 13th, 2016, Coppin State University police involved shooting. Near the Coppin State University campus, an undercover university officer witnessed an active shooting involving two groups. Surveillance and officer accounts showed 18-year-old LeVar Douglas running with a firearm before a foot chase began through nearby residential streets. Investigators said Douglas later turned toward the officer with the weapon before the officer opened fire, fatally striking him. November 22nd, 2018, 2900 block of Garrison Boulevard. 21-year-old Darian Savoy was killed in a homicide on Garrison Boulevard. Surveillance footage shows the suspect walking southbound along the sidewalk late at night before pausing briefly near an alleyway. Moments after the shooting, the same individual was captured sprinting back in the opposite direction while clutching his waistband during the escape. September 3rd, 2018, 1500 block of Plum Street, Curtis Bay. 24-year-old Bobby Mack was murdered in the Curtis Bay neighborhood around 5 o'clock in the evening. Detectives described the suspect as a slim black male with a dark complexion and close cropped haircut who was believed to frequent the South Baltimore area. The surveillance footage became a major part of the homicide investigation as police searched for anyone who recognized the suspect. July 29th, 2018, 2100 block of Presbury Street. At approximately 5:15 in the morning, officers responded to reports of gunfire and found a 28-year-old man suffering from multiple gunshot wounds. Grainy surveillance footage captured the quiet pre-dawn street before multiple muzzle flashes suddenly lit up the darkness during the shooting. The victim later died from his injuries after being transported to the hospital. May 27, 2018, 1300 block of North Carey Street. A 33-year-old man was shot during the afternoon hours on North Carey Street. Surveillance footage shows a suspect walking through the residential block in broad daylight before quickly leaving the area after the shooting. Detectives believe the footage captured important movements connected to the attack. March 8, 2018, North Avenue and Asquith Street. In broad daylight at one of the city's busiest intersections, 2 men were shot after a suspect appeared to wait near the corner before opening fire. One victim died after suffering a gunshot wound to the upper body, while the second survived after being struck in the leg. Surveillance footage captured the chaos as the suspect fled through traffic after the shooting. December 18, 2017, 3500 block of Plum Avenue. 19-year-old Jonathan Tobash was fatally shot during what investigators believe was an attempted robbery. The shooting happened around 10:30 at night, with detectives believing 2 suspects targeted Tobash before opening fire under the cover of darkness. August 12, 2017, 200 block of South Hilton Street. 27-year-old Dominic Gaskins was killed in a homicide on South Hilton Street. August 6, 2017, 100 block of North Howard Street. A 24-year-old man was shot during an attempted robbery in one of Baltimore's busiest commercial areas. Surveillance footage shows the suspect trailing the victim before confronting him. When the situation escalated, the suspect pulled out a handgun, fired, and fled toward the Lexington Market area. Some of these cases go much further than what could be shown here. The full versions and extended surveillance breakdowns are available on TopTrendReport.tv.com.